Yo, we're back. First Choice Fantasy Podcast, football, fantasy, whatever we're doing. We got the NFC North wide receivers today. We're going to be ranking the NFC North wide receivers, okay?
There's so many.
He said there's so many.
I
What's
don't
the
think there
cucumber
are.
saying? Cucumber, what you got to say?
What you gotta say?
I just said I don't think there are.
There are.
Oh,
This
there goes
group
the
is
mood.
not a ton of receivers here.
We were going like this, like a roller coaster, and then also, the roller coaster always has like a little dip real quick.
Yeah.
Real
It's got a loose bolt.
the intent.
And there we go.
Yeah,
Alex pulled it out.
going off.
That's what I do here.
What?
My role in this.
Roll here is to
Production.
derail everything. And talk
Derail
about
the idea.
GMOs.
GMOs, cucumbers. Let's just talk about everything that you would talk about regularly, Alex.
Fantasy football. So here we go.
Yeah, that would be
Here we go.
That's gotcha.
Cut the intro before Brandon says anything stupid.
Let's cue that intro up. I don't know. This is a cue. Cue.
The hell did you just do?
That's a cue.
Now we have now we're PG-13.
No.
Yeah.
It's a cue.
We've
Great.
always been PG.
Oh, that's true. Never mind.
It's a cue.
Now we're rated R.
Cue the
No!
intro.
Get that off the screen,
Fuck.
Ed.
All right. Cue the intro.
Damn it,
Cut
Ed.
the intro. Cut it. Oh.
Yeah, cut it out.
I said, baby, I am not the one to play with. Ain't the type to give up, I'm driven and motivated. I just want some recognition and some compensation. But this ain't about the money and it ain't about the fame. I got lightning in a bottle, I think I just found my perfect sound. Can you see the fire in my eyes? Bitch, it's burning now. Lightning in a bottle, I think I just found my perfect sound. Can you see the fire in my eyes? Bitch, it's burning now.
We're back with some wide receivers, the NFC North. Yeah, we're back.
Yeah.
We got 4 relevant receivers, 5, 6 relevant receivers, 7 relevant
8.
receivers. But we're ranking like 11 because, we just have to do because,
I need
Why not?
to.
we don't have to, but we do it anyway because we love y'all, all y'all 10 viewers. We got 11 this past video. And 11.
Now, how many of them were us?
I didn't watch it because I'm tired of watching it because nobody else watches it. So this
I didn't watch it either.
I watch it every single day.
I don't
that's
like.
love.
Personally, because
See,
I
though,
don't.
Brandon's got
my
more
job,
time to watch
yeah.
it than I can't watch podcasts at work.
My job consists of walking around the warehouse picking orders. So
I'm
I
not
can
allowed
have
to
an
wear
earbud in
headphones
and
at
I
work.
listen to.
If you guys can't watch the podcast on YouTube, we do have it on Spotify for all y'all Spotify subscribers and whatnot. And we got the link in the description if you want to click on it and check us out on Spotify because we've made effort.
It's like
man.
the same
the
thing
effort.
here, just with less cucumbers.
And with no screen and no you can't see our faces or
Yeah.
the cucumbers. Yeah.
And I
That
will
might be a
say,
benefit.
if you do what I do and you listen to it while you're working, having
That's not
us
an
up
option
on
for some of
YouTube,
this.
you can't turn your phone off. Spotify,
Exactly.
turn
Yeah.
that phone off, put that phone in your pocket, give us a listen.
First Choice
Let's
Fantasy.
get
on
into these
Spotify.
freaking wide receivers.
NFC North wide receivers. Let's get it. We top it off with Davante Adams, of course.
What?
Beautiful guy, pause. He is a very, very talented wide receiver in my eyes. And you guys got anything to say about him? Because I got a few things to say about the dude. Spicy man.
As long as he stays healthy, he's a clear-cut, top 6 receiver.
Baller.
He said, what? Baller. All right. We got Davante Adams. Davante Adams. Obviously,
The
this man
Harley.
is a very, very, very talented wide receiver, okay? I use this little metric. I don't know if I created it. It's not creating it because I'm using other information, okay? But I use it as a very big gauge of, I guess, involvement in the offense. And it's targets per route run, okay? So Davante Adams was targeted on 36% of his routes ran. Obviously, that's pretty good. I mean, you guys might be like, oh, that's bad. No, 36? He's not getting targeted at 100% of his routes? What is he doing?
But if he's out there 100% of the snaps, running routes every single time he's out there.
Good math. But honestly, though, So he got targeted 36% of the time, 36.6, so about 37. Okay, Michael Thomas got targeted on 34% of his routes. Got targeted more often than Michael Thomas, given the routes ran. Now, obviously, Michael Thomas is running 5 more routes than Davante Adams per game, so it's obviously going to skew his final productions for Davante Adams. But Davante Adams is also a touchdown monster. You guys know this. He's a red zone threat from Aaron Rodgers. Okay,
Yeah, threat everywhere.
he's
Used
a threat
to
everywhere.
be.
He's a very good talent. Whoa, he used to be what?
Used to be more of a threat 2018 in the red zone.
Oh,
That
yeah,
got
yeah.
taken, stolen from
All
that
those
Jones character.
Yeah, the character who's going to tumble this year. But yeah, Davante Adams obviously touched him. I think he's going to finish as a top 3 wide receiver this year. And I think you should draft him as such. I mean, I don't obviously not draft him within the top 3. I mean, he's probably going in the top 3, but say he falls to you, or say he's wide receiver 4, and you got like a decision between him and Joe Mixon, take Davante Adams. I don't care. Like, even if you want to do running back premium, like just ignore that for a second and take Davante Adams. You're not going to regret it. Sure, he might miss a few games here and there, but like when he's on the field, he's going to perform. Davante Adams.
I would go Mixon. Don't tell anybody.
But this is the NFC North, so we're not
I
even
don't
focusing on Mixon now.
Let's hear it, Brandon. You got anything to say about the man?
Adams, he's a known stud. That's all I got to say. He's proven it year in and year out. My only problem with the man is that the offense is going in a different direction. They aren't passing the ball quite as much as Aaron Rodgers has been.
I think he'll still get targets.
Oh, well, yeah, obviously. But being the only wide receiver on the team that's basically going to draw attention to him, it's problematic.
You
But
guys
I
wanna hear-
think talent,
He's been doing it, though.
yeah, talent's going to overthrow double coverage.
And you want to hear this real quick, guys? In
I
case
do
you're
wanna hear
curious. Obviously, you guys probably aren't curious, but this man, Davante Adams, was targeted, obviously, like I said, 36.6% of the time on his routes, okay? The next closest receiver on the team was 19.2%.
Ooh, who was that?
That was
Enlighten
Marquez
me.
Valdez-Scantling.
Oh, my God.
Same
Dude,
guy who
That's
got benched.
exactly what I'm talking about because he is not very talented.
Okay, yeah.
I
But,
don't like him.
I mean,
You
I don't.
may-
I think if he's used correctly, he can be a decent receiver, but he's not a great wide receiver, obviously. Nobody thinks that, and if you do, I don't know who you are. But yeah, I mean, you got players like, I don't know, let me go down this list. We got DeAndre Hopkins at 31% of the time, and then Will Fuller 26. So it's like a pretty close 1-2 on the team. But when you don't have a solidified 2, other than the Colts last year, okay? Now, T.Y. Hilton was at 30%. Devin Funchess, the one game he played, was 28%, and Paris Campbell was 26%. So it's pretty weird to see all these numbers pretty close. But, I mean, it stands out that Davante Adams leads the next closest receiver on his team by 17% of the time. He's getting targeted on every single route he runs. So, I mean, it's something to throw in there in case you guys were curious. Obviously, you guys probably don't care. But, I mean, it's numbers, and I like numbers. So look at the numbers.
And I like words. And a statement on Valdez-Scantling. Aaron Rodgers said that he's got the speed, or this isn't a pulled quote directly, but off my memory, he said something along the lines of, he's got the speed, but he don't play to it. Which, if you got the speed, play to it. Otherwise, it's useless. So the man...
A little easier said than done.
Do you think them bringing in, obviously this is just a question. Do you think them bringing in Funchess kind of lights a fire under Valdez-Scantling, gets him a little more, like you got talent, you got like competition now. I'm not saying Lazard's not competition, but they're paying. I mean, the contract they offered or that they signed Funchess to isn't that beautiful looking. Like I think they said he could get cut during the training camp with no cap hit. Maybe I'm tweaking on that, but I think that's the assumption I got from it. But it's kind of like lights a fire under Valdez-Scantling's ass, and it's like, yo, get moving.
I think if he really needed that signing to light a fire under his ass, then that's a giant red flag. I think you're an NFL player. You just lost your job the past season. If you aren't motivated enough, then that's not.
I don't
good.
think he didn't lose his job though. Like they just misused him this past year.
They benched him for Alan Lazard.
Okay, this is what I'm saying. Okay, Valdez-Scantling played, I think it was 40% of his snaps in the slot in 2018. Then a new coaching regime comes in, yada, 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 all that stuff. And then
You can argue they misuse him, but they still definitely benched him.
Fucking
I'm done talking about Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
Okay, then who do you want to talk about, Alex?
Here's Galladay, Robinson, maybe low-end RB wide receiver ones. I guess Thielen, too.
I don't think Thielen's a wide receiver 1. I mean, he could.
I think he could be.
He could be. He could be a low end.
Like
He could
low
be like
end,
a 12.
high end RB, high end wide receiver 2. I mean, I think they're like in that area.
11 is probably his ceiling. He's getting drafted wide receiver 11 too, which is just not. It's
all right. Well then, yeah, I wouldn't expect him to be like top 10. But I mean, I guess you never know.
Brandon, you got anything to say about Thielen, Galladay, or Robinson?
Thielen, Galladay, or Thielen's just boring to me.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just boring. I know he'll get the workload, obviously, but it's not something I'm thrilled about per se. I think I would be a lot more excited to play. Obviously, since I have them both ranked higher than Thielen, but Robinson and Galladay. Galladay has really stepped into form. He's a straight monster. Love the man.
Last year was only his 3rd year, too. That's weird.
Exactly. And he was showing flashes even before that, too. So it's like the man is talented. Get a healthy quarterback. Please, Stafford, stay healthy. Let this man thrive. Allen Robinson, I've never really been a huge fan of him, at least ever since he went to the Bears. I think the Bears, I don't like the way they really play the game of football, especially with Mitchell Trubisky. I just love finding different ways to call the man because all of them bash him. So
trash, yeah, he's trash. He's trash. That's all I gotta say about him, I guess.
So trash. But yeah, I mean, and I will say Marvin Jones sitting at 5. I can see Jones really producing. He has you were talking about fires and Valdez-Scantling. Well, this man starts the fires with the Lions because he's balling out, but then he gets carried away and he starts a barn fire and then he gets hurt.
Oh, he got hurt from the barn fire, right?
Yeah, he gets hurt from his own flames. But if he can stay healthy, the man is a beast. And if he's healthy, I can see him being above Thielen.
Whoa.
I don't see that at all.
Let's do it.
That's crazy talk. But I can respect it. I don't know about it, though. But
it would have to take a lot of doing.
You need Thielen to get hurt.
If
that was the case.
You would need Marvin Jones to first stay healthy, and you would need Matthew Stafford to also stay healthy. Other than that, I think Jones got the lane to success.
You're saying that is the only way, or if Stafford gets hurt or Marvin Jones gets hurt, then Marvin Jones is going to finish below Adam Thielen. Is that what you're saying? Like the only 2 things that need to happen for Marvin Jones to finish above Thielen?
Both of them to stay healthy?
That's a bold take. You're saying that?
I would say it.
I think that's nuts.
Mark the words right
Look
here.
at Jones' stats last year and look at Thielen's. Like Thielen was – Jones is a solid player.
Thielen also had Diggs there.
Yeah,
and
but
you both have said it yourselves. Justin Jefferson's not going to be that same threat. And
I think that just means they're going to have to lean on Thielen even more.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like the Adams thing where, like, sure, he's going to get more defensive coverage, but he's just talented.
He's going to get more volume, and I mean, volume rules. Like I said, you can't bank on efficiency.
Hey, I like bold takes, and I'm acknowledging it's a ridiculous take. I get that. That's why I have him at 5. But I like to think that there's a shot. There's always a shot.
Do you think Marvin Jones finishes the year with more touchdowns than Thielen? Is that something that would make him higher than Thielen?
I do.
More touchdowns?
Yeah,
he wouldn't get more targets, right?
Probably not. I don't think he'll get more targets. I
All
think his targets will be more valuable because he's got Galladay on the other side taking the coverage.
So you're a believer in like the
I'm a
if you lose
believer
attention,
in the Lions. The way the Lions run their offense benefits the wide receivers more so than a Vikings offense with one proven receiver and a rookie who you guys believe isn't going to translate well pairing with Adam Thielen.
I don't think the Vikings are going to use Jefferson to his strengths. Obviously, Alex doesn't like the man unless he's a slot receiver and he doesn't agree with the whole first-round stuff and whatnot. But, like, I don't know. I mean, like, I feel like they're both going to be used as as outside wide receivers. They're not going to be used as slot wide receivers. Last year, the Vikings used 2+ tight end sets 53% of the time. Like, that's a large portion of the time. That's only behind the Eagles by a few percent. Eagles, I think, personally, I believe they used it just because they didn't have receivers.
They had to,
because they had to.
They had Johnny Ward blockbuster and whatnot. But, yeah, I mean, I said I can see Adam Thielen finishing with 130-plus targets, which, I mean, obviously thinking about it now isn't bold because he had more than that in 2018 and 2017. But, I mean, the team was more pass-heavy then. Not saying they're not going to be pass-heavy this year, but, I mean, obviously like Zimmer and whatnot, everybody knows run the ball, establish the run. But, yeah, I mean, he's Cousins' favorite target. Wide receiver 11 ADP is way too high for me. But, I mean, if you can take him as a wide receiver too, I'd be fine with that.
You have Anthony Miller at 5 above Marvin Jones, which goes against Alex and I. So,
I mean,
what's your love for Miller?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm good.
No, you're cool. Go ahead.
I like Miller. I was just gonna say I like Miller. I think the drop off starts after Miller. I was just recognizing that Miller has good potential.
I quoted you in here because I had a feeling you would say this, and I mean, you didn't say it sadly, but I said Nick Foles, quote, Nick Foles targets his slot receivers. Anthony Miller is a sneaky sleeper. Brandon probably. Obviously, didn't say
man,
it, I'm sure you were thinking it because of D.D. Westbrook, weren't you?
I loved D.D. Westbrook and Foles, but then Foles got hurt. That was disappointing. You have no. I put some cash in the D.D.
I'm not banking on Foles playing a lot of games in Chicago. Foles has struggled for most of his NFL career, especially in bad situations. And I just don't think this situation is great for him. I think they brought him in to push Trubisky. And even if he stays healthy, I could see them inexplicably putting Trubisky on the field anyway.
I agree. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, I could possibly see Anthony Miller. I mean, I could definitely see Anthony Miller finishing below Marvin Jones, but I don't know. Marvin Jones kind of scares me. Like, he was crazy efficient last year. I think he was second in touchdown rate, something like that, for wide receivers, and the number one receiver.
The injury scares are
that too.
Worry as well.
Injury, age. I mean, I apologize for the whole Quintez Cephas dismissal we kind of had, or I had in the first video. But I mean, I don't think he's a bad talent. And like I said, I think he's probably going to take some snaps away from Marvin Jones. And Marvin Jones being, what is he, 30, 31? Something
30,
like that.
29, 30.
Oh, he's only 29? Maybe I'm wrong. Okay,
I think I looked at him just the other day.
But I mean, if he is 30, 31, he's getting older. He's had injuries, obviously, and just his touchdown rate was insane last year, like I said. He did finish 21st in points per game last year. So if he would have kept playing, he would have been wide receiver too. I don't personally see that happening again. Anthony Miller, I can see being a decent wide receiver too, and I don't know. I kind of would like to gamble on Anthony Miller over Marvin Jones.
I like the talent. I don't like the opportunity. I think it's a smart idea to gamble on people in good passing offenses like Marvin Jones, whereas Anthony Miller probably will not be in a great passing offense.
Yeah.
If you swap their teams, I would take Miller over Jones easily. But
now, speaking of which, with that statement, you would take receivers in better passing offenses and whatnot. Where would you rank Desean Jackson on this list? Because I was just thinking about it just because the week one last year was beautiful. He's 33, obviously, so it's kind of scary.
I'd probably rank him at 7 below Miller just because I don't think he's going to stay healthy.
I think I would also rank Jackson behind Miller.
I don't even know.
Lazard and Miller.
I don't even know what to think of a healthy D-Jack.
Yeah,
Just
been too long.
because it's just been so long. I feel like if he managed to play 16 games, he could kill it, but I just don't see it, unfortunately.
All right, I guess we'll jump on to Justin Jefferson here, I guess. I don't really want to talk about the dude. I pretty much talked about him with Thielen. Brandon, you said you ain't got nothing to say about the man?
I don't got much to say. I mean, he's above Anthony Miller for me only because
Nuts.
opportunity.
I did not see that.
Yeah. Just opportunity. Yeah, I don't
Perceived
think too
opportunity.
highly.
He's the number 2 receiver as a rookie for the Vikings, whereas Miller is going into his 3rd season as the number 2 receiver.
But it's the number 2 wide receiver on a stable offense compared to a number 2 wide receiver on a team that is deciding
I think
between
Miller
Nick
has proven
Foles
himself,
and Mitchell
whereas
Trubisky.
Jefferson has not proven himself, and I've said this many times. I think he'll struggle as an outside receiver.
Didn't you also say something, Brandon, about how you wouldn't choose, like you said something about like Adam Thielen, and like you could see Marvin Jones being better than him because they're not on a run-heavy offense, or because the Vikings are a run-heavy offense and whatnot. But you didn't say anything about the run-heavy offense when it came to Justin Jefferson. Why is that?
Well, if you look at the teams, that consisted of the Lions' offense, a pass-heavy offense. I have more faith in the Lions' offense producing 2 top receivers as for I think the Vikings will produce. I don't think Thielen will. I don't know. I think not so highly of the Vikings wide receivers, especially after Diggs left. I think going from Diggs to Jefferson's a big jump. I don't think it's a big enough jump to make Jefferson under Anthony Miller because I don't think Miller has really proven much. And Mitchell
he had
Trubisky,
a pretty solid run to end the season last year after he got acclimated after missing like all of training camp.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope so because I've had Miller and I had hopes of him being something, but he hasn't. So I'm going with Jefferson in this situation only because I like his situation with a team eerily similar to the Bears. They're both run-heavy teams, but if it comes to passing the ball, I trust Cousins more than I do either of Trubisky or Foles.
I guess I get where you're coming from.
I don't.
I don't know. It's just confusing because you would take a wide receiver 2 in a pass-heavy offense over a wide receiver 1. Well, possibly take a pass or wide receiver 2 in a pass-heavy offense over a wide receiver 1 in a run-heavy offense. But then I think the Bears personally, I think they're a balanced offense. And like I said with DeFilippo, like they might just pass more because, they kind of want to. It seems that way. But, I would take a wide receiver 2 in a balanced offense over a wide receiver 2 in a run-heavy
especially
offense.
when that wide receiver 2 is a 3rd-year pro and compared to a rookie.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess.
Well, the situation with Marvin Jones was more or less just spitballing, really. It wasn't my action. It was something that I could see happening. It's not something I expect to happen. It's not something I would bank on. Like, I wouldn't take Jones over Thielen or trade Thielen for a Jones or something like that. So, I get what you mean, though.
I get what you're saying, too, but it's just, I don't know. Difference on agreements, I guess. I don't know. It's whatever. But I guess, do you want to talk about, Alan Lazard? No, let's talk about why do you guys have St. Brown? I don't even know. Equinemius, like a horse or something.
All right, so here's my thinking here because I think I influenced Brandon putting him on the list.
Yeah.
After Jefferson, you're pretty much throwing shit at the wall. I think Funchess maybe has the best shot out of anyone, given that he's been mildly productive before. Maybe Lazard takes a step forward. Maybe Amendola has a solid season at the age of 33 with a healthy Stafford. I'm putting St. Brown up there. He is one of my very deep sleepers this season. He had didn't have the best rookie year, but he was decent in the showings that he had, considering he was like a 6th-round pick. He also had the support of Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers was a big fan of his, which I think says something, given Aaron Rodgers' like propensity to hate every human being on the planet around him at any given time.
Sure.
You know, he's friends with Davante Adams, which is funny because he's a good receiver. I think St. Brown has all of the physical traits, and I know he missed all of last season, so I think maybe he's flying a little under the radar. And given how like up in the air the Packers' receiving corps are right now, that's why I have St. Brown as that like deep sleeper, kind of in the vein of like a DJ Chark last year, where like he's just kind of a big guy with physical traits. I'm not saying he's going to have the season that Chark had, but
good comparison, I guess.
When I'm looking for like guys like that, like guys at the bottom of the roster who are like have the potential to make some noise, I like to look for like athletic ability.
Makes sense.
And given that their receiving like room is just a tire fire.
Also, with that whole, like you said, Rodgers, I guess you said complimented practically or supported St. Brown. Obviously, you guys know Lazard. I don't know if you guys heard it. You guys probably have. But Rodgers and Lazard had Thanksgiving dinner together last year.
I saw that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Rodgers is very high-strung with his opinions on his wide receivers or just players in general. Didn't, like, Ty Montgomery get cut after he dropped an onside kick or something like that? And Rodgers, had words.
As when he ran that kickoff return out and fumbled.
Yeah, it was like a few days after that happened. He was released.
I'm not sure about anything.
I find that to be
Rodgers
hilarious.
was not thrilled.
Yeah. But obviously, like, having a better relationship with your players obviously makes it looks better. I mean, just so logically, I guess you could say. But I'm not saying Lazard is going to be the wide receiver 2 on the team because, like you said, it's a tire fire. It could be any of the 5 other wide receivers that they have on their team. They're all big players. They're all decently athletic. Not much to say about it, to be honest.
And you were saying, Ed, you were saying that Davante Adams is the shortest out of all of their wide receivers, right?
Exactly.
And you look at him on the field and you think, wow, he's a big dude.
Yeah.
He's like
That's crazy.
I think St. Brown's 6'5", Alan Lazard's 6'5", I want to say too. And then Marquez Valdez-Scantling 6'4". I don't even know who else they got. They got Devin Funchess 6'4". Yeah, Kumero's 6'5" too. Also, I wanted to say about Devin Funchess. He led the league in 2018 in drops and drop rate. So obviously that's something to say. And if you can't catch,
I'm sure Rodgers will love that.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that's all I got to say about these Packers wide receivers. Davante Adams is the clear-cut number 1, and he's going to be number 1 on my team probably in redraft. So,
yeah, that's really all I have for these receivers.
Same. Brandon, got anything else?
Well, now after that stat, I don't want to say anything about Funchess.
Wait, what? You want to say something positive? Go ahead.
I want to say something positive about Funchess. He's so disrespected and belittled. He's so belittled always and forever.
I mean, that's kind of what happens when you lead the NFL in drops.
But he came in with the Carolina Panthers, and there was an injury to their wide receiver 1. I forget who it was.
Steve Smith?
But
or is that too?
He stepped in, and there was like no wide receivers on the Panthers. I believe it was 2017. And he stepped in and had a productive year. And
did he have a productive? He could have just had a productive year because they force-fed him targets. I think that's the issue, is that like his production has become the result of volume, not necessarily like skill.
But if you think about it, what other team could you see him being force-fed targets? A team
that's
with
why I
only
ranked
Davante Adams?
A run-heavy team? I don't think so.
I think
he doesn't seem like a guy that Rodgers will be a particularly fond of.
All right. We're talking fantasy football and not some
but if Rodgers isn't going to throw him the ball.
Dating site, oh my God.
Maybe the NFL has some type of connection. It's not like it's not a dating site, but it's just an app where Aaron Rodgers gets on and he gets to see all the
Yeah, I mean, but Rodgers is very particular with his receivers, so.
I love the dating site reference.
And if you think about it, he might not like short wide receivers.
I mean, Greg Jennings was short.
I don't like that.
Randall Cobb, is he short? Jordy Nelson, how tall was he?
He's short.
I think he was like 6'2".
Nelson was a little on the taller side.
Who? Jordy.
Jordy Nelson.
Who
James Jones, no.
That possession receiver.
He was taller, right?
I love
Jordy Nelson was 6'3". Yeah, he was tall. He was also good.
Oh, yeah, he was good. James Jones is 6'1", little balance kind of guy. I don't know. I mean, obviously, you got Davante Adams. After that, I don't see anybody breaking out or anything like that. I mean, like, it'd be cool to have, like, a nice Lazard and, like, Dynasty and whatnot just because, you know, that connection, that little personality connection with Aaron Rodgers on the dating site and whatnot. But I don't know. Run any team.
Like, Devin Funchess, that's not really that I think the world of him. I just think that, I mean, he stepped in and he was force-fed targets, and I don't know. I think he produced fantasy-wise at least, and I think there's a chance that happening again. And I don't know why I have him under Danny Amendola because I don't like Danny Amendola.
I liked Funchess last year with the Colts, like his first game and whatnot. Like going into the season, I was expecting him to do something, but obviously he did decent his first week, didn't he?
Did
the whole season.
I think he had a
broken collarbone. Yeah, 5 targets in that first game for 3 receptions, 32 yards.
That's not bad.
I mean, and that was against the Chargers. When the Chargers defense is healthy, they're pretty lethal.
I mean, he was getting covered by Brandon Faceyson, who I don't even know who the hell that is.
Okay, well,
never heard of that guy.
60%.
See, they were even disrespecting Funchess, and that's why he had 5 targets.
And he punished them with 30 yards.
He has been actually pretty injury riddled. He's had an injury every single year with 2 in 2016, 2 lower body injuries in 2016. Didn't know any of that, but hey. Bad hands, injury history.
It's kind of like
not ideal.
It's kind of like if Alshon Jeffrey started his career the way he's ending it. That's Devin Funchess.
That's a valid one. Oh my god!
I still disagree with that because whenever Jeffrey has been on the field, he is light years more talented than Funchess.
I guess that's all we got for these wide receivers, though, don't we?
Yeah, I don't have anything else.
Brandon, you got a question, or can I toss a question?
I actually do.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, I do.
Ahead.
I was looking some questions up, and I searched up questions to ask a group of friends. And at first, I was like, why would this be a question someone would want to answer in front of a bunch of people because of the premises of the question? But then I started thinking about it, and it's actually a pretty entertaining thing to think about. What are some embarrassing situations you found yourself in, or even situations you haven't found yourself in? I kind of twisted the question to make it make sense, but yeah.
You should ask this pre-video because I had to think about this a little bit. I definitely had a lot of embarrassing ones.
Well, luckily, he already asked this.
Yeah.
I didn't get the embarrassing things that have happened to you. I just got the what would you think of, like, some things that would be embarrassing.
Like
some worst case scenarios.
What's more embarrassing, being walked in on while using the bathroom, or you are the person's walking in on another person? Both ways. If you're sitting there and you're like, "Oh, I'm so embarrassed," that's
if I'm sitting there, I am not embarrassed.
I'm walking away thinking, "Wow, I'm embarrassed." Well,
if I'm sitting there, I'm not embarrassed because, like, maybe the door doesn't lock.
Oh, come on.
Like, if
man.
That's
I'm
valid.
sitting there,
I'm
like,
a
I feel
bathroom.
like
I've never
Nah,
been in a bathroom that you don't walk
if you walk into someone on the bathroom, I feel like that's on you.
Yeah.
That is on you for not realizing there was somebody. If you're just sitting in the bathroom, like, that ain't something to be embarrassed about. Pretty sure everybody uses the bathroom at some point over the course of the day. It's not like they're walking in like, oh, look at that guy sitting on the toilet. Who does that? You know, whereas if you walk into someone, it's like, bro, how did you manage that? How did your dumb ass not see there's somebody in the bathroom?
Ooh, ding, ding, ding. I got one. Okay. You guys know Musters, right? Well, what used to be Musters, sadly.
Fuck
Yeah.
Musters.
I miss Musters,
It
man.
just sounded like
This is a
Alex just went
shithole.
auto-tune.
He
He
said,
was like-
"Fine, Musters." Anyway, I was like 10. No, I was like 8 years old, and I was steering a cart. Okay, with my grandparents at no, it wasn't Musters. Was it? Yeah, it was Musters. It was Musters. Okay, so I was steering a car, 8 years old, grandparents with me. Okay, I go to do a U-turn because I think I'm a cool kid. I go, look at this, Grandpa, skirt, and I hit an entire case of like fly strips that you hang, and they all just went flying. And I just sat there like, I didn't know what to do. And everybody's seen it. Like, people were in the store, plus my grandparents were right there, and they're like, what'd you do? And I was like, oh, shit. It was crazy. But yeah, that was my most embarrassing time, I guess. Also,
There's so many situations that could be
would you say
counted as.
an accident like a car accident would be embarrassing? I mean, it wasn't like a car
It
accident.
depends on what, like, how it happened. If I get T-boned, I'm going to go out on a limb and say I'm not very embarrassed.
Yeah. Okay.
However, like,
I never got into a car accident, but I'm not very good in tight spaces with cars, especially my first car was a Pontiac, so it was very long, okay? So I was backing out of my driveway one time, and my neighbor who parked literally directly behind me in a driveway, is a one-car driveway. I put my car there momentarily while I ran in and grabbed something, and he parked directly behind me. I was like, okay, move. So I moved. He didn't pull out far enough, and the street is very tight. Like, it's a two-way street, but there's cars parked on it, so it's like nothing there. I go to back out. I accidentally, like, tap his car, and I go, oh, shit, I felt that. And, like, I'm in a car full of people, so I'm just like, all right. So I get out of my car. I go look. No scratch or anything. This man spits towards me. I was like, what? I was like, I feel like a piece of shit. Like, God damn. And then I just drove off. I was like, fuck it, man. Fuck it. Like,
That's the most, like, insulting thing you can do is when you just spit
yeah.
at
I've
someone.
never experienced that before.
did it hit you or did it almost hit you?
It almost hit me. He didn't, like, spit directly. Like,
If it hit you, that's grounds to fight. Like, at that point, fuck your car. Like, we're throwing hands, man.
He was like a 40-year-old who looked pretty fit. I
wonder what this. I
I don't care who it was. I don't even
was after that. Were you just kind of standing there, like looking at the man, or
yeah,
just
because I didn't
around
know.
and leave?
I mean, I was looking, and as he spit at me and got in his car, and he gassed away. Like, instead of just pulling out a little bit, he gassed away. Like, he was gone, and I was like,
I thought he was just kind
that's
of
a man who's
there,
afraid of retaliation.
He just kind of spit there, and then he just looked at you and was like,
and we just
I feel
made
like
eye
at that point,
contact.
The only reasonable explanation is for you to get in your car and run him over.
Yeah, probably I should have. Thinking about it, I'm not going to admit to that though. But
All right.
But yeah, and I never spoke to that man ever again in my entire life. That was the first week of living at that house, and from that point on, never, like, we sometimes made eye contact, and sometimes he would spit at me. No,
it was just,
every single time, eye contact. I apologize. It's like a llama.
Just starts coming out of his mouth.
Yeah. It's like a knee-jerk reaction at that point. But yeah, that's about all I got. What about you, Brandon?
Yeah. I mean, there are times when I'm at work, I work with boxes, so like sometimes if like you pick a few boxes up and a box falls off and hits you right in the head, you'll look around to make sure no one sees. And just recently, actually, it happened to me, and it like knocked me right in the face, actually, not even in the head. It straight looked like it bitch slapped me.
Oh man.
I was like, I looked around, and I saw someone staring at me, and I was like, "Oh shit!" And they were like, I started like, I looked at them, and then I started working again, and then they were like, "Don't worry, I saw that."
Fucking asshole.
I was like, "Okay."
So unnecessary. Yeah, I got a couple ones actually still at work. I was at work. I do like I'm in the back room, kind of like what you do. I don't obviously do boxes and whatnot, but I have like a little car thing, and like I'm up on it and like going forward, and there's like a steel like beam that like you put stuff on top of like box and stuff. Going forward, I don't have my head low enough, and I just get bopped, and I'm just I sit there and I look around, I see people, and they're just like, "You good?" And I was like, "Yeah." I just move on forward with life.
Actually, this is like, I was playing football with my family one time when I was younger, probably 13, probably even younger than that, 8, 9, and went to go catch a pass, caught it, and I start to turn my head. I had the ball. I was like, wow, this is such a good catch. And this is at my grandparents' house.
Yeah.
And you lived across the road from there. And you know those bird posts?
Yeah.
That they have? Well, I turned and just boom, immediately laid out by this bird post. And it's caught on camera too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my mom just so happened to be videotaping us playing football.
Golly.
That's a good tackle right there.
And then you got those situations that everyone knows. Those situations where you're walking down a long hallway and you're like, don't make eye contact with this one person in this long hallway. And then you're walking along. Do you look at them? Do you acknowledge them? And it's the most stressful, not really embarrassing. It's stressful to me.
They're not even there.
I'm like, do I look at them and get like, I don't know.
This happens all the time to me at work. If I know you and I want to talk to you, I acknowledge you. If I don't want to talk to you, you're not even there.
And then there are the times where you just so happen to look and you're like, oh, I think I'm good. And you look up and they're still there. They're just walking extra slow. And then you make eye contact and they don't acknowledge you. And then you're like, oh, man, I shouldn't have done that.
It's stressful, too, when you do walk past. Like, I'm at work sometimes and, like, I walk past a couple people. It was actually a couple days ago. These people, like, they're cashiers, okay? And I'm just walking past them. And I didn't say a single word, no eye contact, because they were in the middle of talking. So I was like, okay, let's just leave that be, you know. I get 5 feet past them. They go, hey, you're just not going to acknowledge us? I was like, I've never talked to you in my life, but hey, how you doing? Awkward moments. I wouldn't say embarrassing.
I try. So situations like that, I try, like, if I'm unsure if someone's trying to speak to me, I make sure to ignore them the first time.
Same.
Because if you look up and you're like, oh yeah, what's up? And then they're talking to someone else, it's so embarrassing. And then
that's
you're
why I just try to take a very simple approach to these things. If I didn't want to talk to them to begin with, I just ignore them completely. And if they do turn to talk to me, I round the corner before they have anything to say.
It happens to me daily at work. Like today, I'm just driving past aisles in my cart, and then all of a sudden I hear somebody say something. I'm past the aisle, but then I just look back like this, and I'm just like, make eye contact with them, and I don't know if they're flagging me down. I'm just like sitting there staring at them, and they're like,
ignore it.
They're staring at me, and I'm just like,
just gotta ignore it.
Just go.
Yeah.
Are you talking to me? Or are you talking to that person? I don't know.
Just gotta ignore it. You just gotta keep on rolling.
Why does life have to be so embarrassing?
It's so awkward, yeah. It's a rough life. All right, I guess that's all we got for today, huh?
Yeah, that's it.
All right, I guess this is First Choice Fantasy signing off. So comment, like, subscribe, share, you know. And drop your most embarrassing / awkward moment of your life down in the comments. Let's get to know you guys, okay?
Yeah.
Word?
Yeah. Cucumber?
Peace.
Cucumber?
Peace.
Cucumber.
Cucumbers are all about peace, love, and joy.
Not this one.
Later on, everybody.